And President Biden's economic advisors told members of Congress the economy is bouncing back from the pandemic, but also acknowledging Americans are still feeling inflation pains.
Yeah, big inflation pains. And our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp has more on the story tonight.
In a Senate banking committee, President Biden's economic advisors outlined the current status of America's economy.
Businesses have been able to resume activity and children are back at their school desks. Economic recovery has been strong. In 2021, GDP grew faster than it has in almost 40 years, and the U.S. job market gained 6.7 million jobs. Unemployment is down to 4%, years earlier than projected.
But they also pointed out that not everything is looking good.
And Americans are feeling the pinch of inflation at the pump, in grocery stores, and in the marketplace.
We're experiencing one of the highest inflation rates in 4 decades. Biden's economic advisors told members the pandemic has been a major driver in inflation issues, combined with supply chain problems, and demand is outpacing supplies. They believe inflation will drop later down the road, but also say recent estimates from economists suggest that our income is greater now than in 2019, which led to some tense back and forth moments.
Are you telling me that you think that the average worker in America is more than keeping up with inflation?
So what we know is that look, inflation is not, we do not want to see this level of inflation going forward. And that's why the president is focused on doing what he can. We'd like, the Federal Reserve is likely to adjust how its posture has been towards inflation. But we do know that household balance sheets, because of the efforts of the federal government, the Federal Reserve, have been maintained through this pandemic.
Well, I'm surprised that we can't candidly acknowledge the obvious. Wages are not growing as fast as prices for the large majority of workers.
There were other standoffs between Dems and Republicans that took up a lot of their time, pointing the finger at each other about moving forward with Federal Reserve nominees. But other than that, economists were optimistic about our economic outlook. At the Capitol, Rachel Knapp reporting.